frantic announcer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's see. How long will it take before he pushes the candy, jolly, candy-like button? The button that will erase his very existence! How long can he hold out? Will he hold out? And then all of a sudden it comes to a stop. Tune in tomorrow. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I loved that guy. I loved him because I used to try to emphasize all the wrong words. Like, you know, with amazing, spectacular toast! And that was what made it funny, is to take all the wrong words that don't deserve any emphasis and make it all about that. If... Hmm? Need to be tweaked? Yeah. Well, yeah, we do it. They've done it to people. Somebody like my friend Robbie Paulson, who was on Animaniacs, and Pinky and the Brain, he was Pinky. He could do his voice sped up in real time. He didn't need any gadgetry, you know, because he was like a character, and it sounded like he had a helium voice for Animaniacs. And when he got his voice real high up as Pinky, you know, a lot of people probably think, oh, they just put the spin on it, but no, he was able to do those things. There's a lot of people who can and people who can't, and what they'll do is go, well, this character's got to be a lot deeper, so they put it through the machine. You know, like, you know how everybody's like, there's an auto-tune epidemic? How every song has to be, you know, I didn't get it. It was like, you can just do that, you know, if you're singing, I went down to the store. Phony. Hey, you're the highest one up. Take my word for it. Oh, wait. Someone even higher up on the food chain.
Can you do some Futurama voices, like Professor?
Sure. The ones that I wound up doing were, you know, Phil J. Fry. Oh, he's just so subtle. I mean, some guy in the new show that we did, 26 episodes, somebody asked him his name. What's your name? And he goes, I don't know. You know, perfect answer, I don't know. And, you know, man, all this constant exposure to radiation is making me thirsty. And then there was, you know, Zach Brannigan, master of time, space, and everything else in between, and, oh yeah, winner of this year's Modesty Award. And then there was a professor who was 147 years old, and they showed me a picture of him. I said, Jesus, you know, you fart dust. There's nothing there. You know, it's just skin and, you know, like food on an airplane. Diseased chicken, skin wrapped around the bone. And so, you know, and he was doddering. I loved that. And he had like a wizard kind of, like Burgess Meredith, like Wizard of Oz kind of voices. Good news, everyone! It's bad news. I was always proud of that proclamation. And then Dr. Zoidberg was based on a couple of actors. You know, so like if you have fusion, like you take one show business periphery and you fuse it with another, you can come up with kind of an original voice. And plus he had all this cool meat hanging off his face. And he'd have some, you know, there'd be something impinging on his like speech just coming out. So I said it would be Marvel Malfitty. And I thought back to the Hollywood archive of voices and characters, and I thought, well, there's this actor named Lou Jacoby. He was in lots of stuff. And he always played the Jewish guy that was concerned. You know about you. You do Alpine Lace, cheese commercials, you know? Because I care about the Jews. And you, and you, and you. And then there was this other guy named George Jessup from what they call vaudeville. You know, it was like before there were TVs and people couldn't even afford to go to the movies, but they could pay a penny and watch 26 acts. And this guy used to come out, and he had a marble mouth. And he used to go, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen." You know, cornball old stuff, but he had a marble mouth. Like that. And so I fused the both of them, and it was like, "Young lady, bring me a sandwich from the dumpster, and leave the nuggets on it." I try to put the Three Stooges into everything I do. You know, like sometimes when a character's sleeping, it could be any character, and if I'm doing it, there's a lot of times where I'll go, you know, and the noise is like, you know, Zap Brannigan has done it, Zoidberg has done it, and the woo 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 and all that, and Larry was the stooge that I based Stimson J. Cat on. He was the stooge with the frizzy hair. He's kind of bald, but he had frizzy hair. He was like a non-entity in the Stooges, because you watch him mow and slap curly around over here, so your focus is supposed to be here, and I kept watching only Larry after a while. And he was reactionary. He'd see this action, and he would go, you know, and the little that he said used to crack me up, like, "Hey, no, there's too much tinsel on the tree." There's something so sublimely beautiful about that stupid voice. And so when you pumped it up so that it could adhere to the parameters of a cartoon universe, it was very childlike, and, you know, unassuming and kind of ignorance is bliss sort of thing in a charming way. And he'd have that voice like, you know, "Look, I picked the magic nose goblin. Want to see?" You know, it was like, that was Larry, sped up. So the Stooge thing is a factor in my life. You know, for you, who was it? It wasn't Scooby-Doo. That was already like ancient, right? You know, like what you relate to is something cartoony. Animaniacs. So you got to know that, like my friend Jess Harnell was doing his impression of Ringo Starr or Paul McCartney or one of the Beatles, and he had that voice. He could speed up himself. So yeah, that, you know, lately you come. And I just did an audition for John Lennon. They're doing something, and they said, can you read some of this?" And, you can't just scream and yell and sing. You can talk like he did. He was very understated. You know, "I've been with Yoko longer than I was with Paul, and they're still asking about Paul." You know, you got four guys living and shitting and eating, and pissing together. We're talking about the Beatles. You know, so it's like, I find just such beauty in everybody's sound. I grew up listening to radio because my world was a sonic one, and then I became a musician. I played guitar and sang in like a million rock bands, and, you know, traveled around the country. But it was all related. So when I quit doing that, I remember I used to screw around on stage with noises and voices. And, so this is the reward, I guess, of a misspent youth. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Death by Susan?
What's that?
What are your thoughts on Death by
Oh. I'm like everybody else in that thing. It's like, you know, they didn't quite know what to make of it. Because they're being tortured and then pleasured with ecstasy and then tortured again. I love it. I don't know what the reference to Snoo Snoo is, but I bet you there is. It comes from something in literature or wherever. Because they don't just make up stuff for nothing. A lot of it is based on something. I'll have to ask them.